Hey, what's up everybody? This is Dirty Mike D with Fat Guy Gaming, and I am looking to do a quick little tutorial on the class role of battleships in World of Warships Legends. And once again, I'm going to start this video by talking about the fact that this game basically breaks down to a rock, paper, scissors match of battleship versus destroyer versus cruiser. There's ways it tips either which way for skill purposes of commanders, but basically battleships defeat cruisers, cruisers defeat destroyers, and destroyers defeat battleships. I'm going to say that at the start of every single one of these videos. Okay, moving past that now, here we have the Dunkirk tier 5 battleship. First thing I want to show you is go to ship options, upgrades, stats. This thing has 52,600 hit points. The nearest cruiser to it in the same tech tree, Galissonier, 29,000, and the Gepard, I believe, is sitting somewhere around 19,000 as a destroyer. So you immediately ship options. Oh my gosh, sorry. There it is. 17,000, not 19,000, 17,000. So immediately we find out that as a battleship, you have lots of hit points. You also have lots of armor. You have very slow speed, and you have a lot of potential damage with your big guns, but you have very low speed. Most battleships sit in between 16.5 knots and around 30 knots. Here on the Dunkirk, we'll check it out real fast. 27 knots, so she's a faster tier 5 battleship. But either way, you're not getting anywhere in a real hurry with this ship. So what I believe the fundamental role battleships play in World of Warships Legends, I've noticed is slightly different than what everyone else's role. You hear people say, I don't get supported, I need more battleships, I need more support in order to do this or that or that. It is my belief that the fundamental role of battleships is to protect and shield everyone else, not vice versa. I mean, there's times when you do need help, when there's an enemy destroyer that's sneaking up on you to torpedo you, but for the most part, you start the game
20 to 25 kilometers from anybody.
Your guns have the farthest reach of almost anything in the game except for a few of the highly specialized cruiser, long-range fire-breathing cruisers in the game. You're going to be seen all the way across the map. Your teammates have to get much closer to enemies in order to fire at them. They have to get within range of battleship guns to fire on battleships. Destroyers have to get very close to cruisers and other battleships and other destroyers in order to fire on these things. Whereas you are 15 to 21 kilometers out, able to get 12 to 16, sometimes 18-inch guns in the case of the Yamato, on target relatively accurately. I mean, the only problem you have is you've got load times of between 18 and 32, 33 seconds on these battleships, which limits the amount of salvos per game you have to 29 to maybe 50 salvos per game. That's if you're firing every time your guns are active. And that doesn't happen. A lot of times your things are out of range, your view's obstructed, you know. So, the fundamental role of battleships is to protect and shield. This brings us to what battleships need to do to be successful. 90% of battleship play is positioning. Positioning and angles. Positioning for map control. You are the master map control people in the game, and I'm not talking about actually taking points and holding points. I'm talking about being able to assault and defend these points. When you are a battleship, all that matters is your positioning. If you are positioned well, you can fire on multiple targets. You can defend yourself against multiple targets. You can support your destroyers when they spot other destroyers at the beginning of the match. You can do what you're the best at, remove cruisers fast and efficiently. You have the ability to one-shot in some cases. Cruisers that can then the cruisers that would be putting your destroyers in peril, who then can go attack their battleships. So map positioning. Putting yourself in a good position causes other battleships, other cruisers, other destroyers to be forced to react to your presence. No one who plays this game with any level of skill wants to put themselves broadside to a salvo from an enemy battleship because of citadels, because of damage potential, because of heading straight back to port. If you load HE and fire at destroyers, you have the potential to either remove or disable a destroyer almost immediately also. So they are not helpless against destroyers. You have a team of secondaries that can help you. If you are supporting your cruisers generally will also support you because they don't want those destroyers in the match either. That's their main job. So map control is what I believe the main job of a battleship. The problem is you have to be strategic. You have to know your maps. You can easily take your battleship on a sail around the world, get shot at one or two things, and then everything's on the other side of the map, and you are out of the game for 5 minutes worth of sailing around at 20 knots. Positioning, knowing where to go. This tutorial is not a tutorial to teach you where to go. That's something you're just going to either have to learn, or I will try to cover in another tutorial. But know that if you just steam straight into a point, you're closing the distance, and you're putting yourself as fast as you can in the path of as many destroyers that can torpedo you, cruisers that want to put HE fire on you, and other battleships that will now maybe at point B or C have broadside or good shots at you. And you will probably not last very far into the match. It might be fun though, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's fun to do that. Also, if you stay all the way back at the back of your control and try to snipe, you are not contributing to being able to fire on the most things. Use your hit point pool as a tank ability to take some of the pressure off the cruisers, who are always the first ones targeted, or in a position to help support friendly destroyers. So the main focus that you will always have in these ships is positioning. If you do positioning correctly, then the rest of my points that I'm about to make will come into play. Your ability to tank damage will be there. You will be angled correctly where you're taking shots, they're ricocheting, they're not doing full damage. You're able to take the pressure off the rest of your team, and you'll be able to do the other thing that battleships are really good at, and that is removing threats off the board. No, destroyers can one-shot things, but they have a minute and a half, sometimes 2 minutes reload on their torpedoes, and basically they're at one target at a time. Battleships can remove targets efficiently. Every 18 to 30 seconds, you have a chance to citadel and remove a target, or at least put it so far down that your team can take it out. That's your job. Removing, positioning, and removing threats as you can when the opportunity arrives. What's going to help you with that, with your positioning, is also the ability to anticipate the flow of battle. Okay, you're spawned at point A, and you see that you've removed, or your flank is just about cleared. You've just about got them cleared. You have to already start positioning your ship and getting it moving towards your next position, because you're slow. If you have friends left, let them cap. Or if you're already close because you've been moving at quarter or half speed towards the thing, cap it as you move through to the next control point. You have to maximize your ability to get your guns on target, because like I said, you only have so many shots per round. Also, just like every ship in the game, bar none, even battleships with their awesome damage and armor potential, you do not want to go pure sideways with these things. People will punish you, they will find your citadel, and you will wonder how the greatest ship the world has ever seen ends up at the bottom of the drink because you did not position yourself correctly. Positioning, positioning, positioning. Anyone in this game, everyone in this game can learn how to shoot correctly. There's even an auto aim feature that helps, but you cannot teach positioning. That is something you're just going to have to learn. The next videos I do will be more specialized for different ship lines in these battleships. But remember, in my opinion, the role of battleships is not to be escorted and protected and and um and like that. They are the protectors. They are the shield. They do this through sheer gunpowder, through their ability to control the battlefield, and their ability to tank damage when they have to tank damage. This does not mean I'm telling you you need to move straight forward and use all 59 to 60,000 of your hit points right away. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about putting yourself in a position where things will shoot at you and have a choice in saving your cruisers' lives. All right, that'll be it for me. This was a short one. I may revise it, but thanks for listening.